What does it look like to do profit maximization, and how does the firm behave? Well, to understand that, we need to understand demand and revenue. Since each firm is a price taker, and we know that total revenue is equal to price times quantity, and profit is equal to total revenue minus total cost, then we can say that profit is total revenue minus total cost, or price times quantity minus total cost. But wait. Let's think about using the marginal revenue, marginal cost rule. So we can imagine a scenario where you're selling Christmas trees, for instance, and you get more revenue as you sell more, obviously. So if it's $18, these must be small Christmas trees, $18 per tree, then you multiply the number of trees that you're selling times $18 and you get your total revenue. And obviously cost is going to rise as you produce more as well. So there's one highest profit point. If we subtract total cost from total revenue, we find that that highest profit point is at a quantity of 50. And there's another magic thing about that quantity of 50. It happens to be the point where marginal revenue crosses marginal cost. The additional revenue from selling another tree, $18, is going to equal the additional cost of producing one more tree. And the way you figure out marginal revenue, as a reminder, is to take the addition to total revenue from the addition to quantity. So you total revenue increases from 720 to 900. That's 180. And quantity has increased from 40 to 50. So there's been a change of 10 in quantity and a change of 180 in revenue. So change in total revenue over change in quantity will be 18. And the same with total cost. You've seen cost rise from 560 to 720 when you added 10 new trees, and that is going to be the same marginal cost as marginal revenue. So that idea of the profit maximizing quantity being the same quantity that equalizes marginal revenue and marginal cost is known as the optimal output rule. And it basically says that however much you're producing, if you produce one more and it adds more to revenue than adds to cost, you should do it because it's adding to your total profit. And you keep doing that until you exhaust all of those quantities. Because at some point, the total cost is going to outrun your total revenue. And so there's going to be one more tree at which the marginal revenue is not enough to cover the marginal cost of producing one more tree. And if you produced and tried to sell it, you would be reducing your total profit because it would be like a negative, it would be a loss for that tree. So here's a recap of that argument. So since we're talking about perfectly competitive firms, it is useful to ask, well, what is marginal revenue? Now remember, these firms are price takers. They have no control over price. Effectively, the additional revenue from selling one more is always going to be the same as the market price. So we can inject marginal revenue, substitute that in for price, and we have, instead of marginal revenue equals marginal cost being the correct or optimal quantity to produce, it is price equals marginal cost. So here's that same data for your tree farm, and you can see that the additional revenue and additional cost cross at that quantity of 50. That's the optimal output.